welcome to this week's EPL reaction over the weekend. It's Aquaba TV as usual. We're bringing you all the lowdown, looking at the EPL, who were the all guns blazing, and who were the ones that flopped. The shocking results of United. Did Liverpool live up to expectations? Would we say Antonio Conte, is he the real deal now? Would he be the dark horse? Let's get to it. So today I have with me Coachella and Rich. So I'll quickly start with Coach. Coach, what's your general thoughts on this weekend's EPL? There were some surprise results as well. So give me your thoughts.
Well, before I say anything, shout out to the viewers. Shout out to all Arsenal fans out there. Well, I would say the weekend went exactly how everyone expected, apart from the Liverpool's result. Nobody expected Fulham to come out the way they did. It's not just the result, the way they played Liverpool.
Yeah.
It was shocking. Nobody expected that. So apart from that, I think every other result was exactly how I thought it should be.
So, Rich, what's your general thoughts? I mean, in terms of the results, especially like Manchester United against Brighton, what did you think, especially with the United losing?
For me, everything was massive for me. When you look at Manchester United, I knew the job was going to be very difficult for the coach because taking over from the boys, they weren't that much into it last season. And you picking up this time, you need to gather a lot of time to put everything together with the team so you can move with them. You are new. You brought in Martinez though, but he alone can't play the ball.
No.
So you have to cope with the boys and make everything happen.
Yes, you're right. Because
Coach.
I think, excuse me.
Sorry.
I think the only two new guys there are Martinez and then Eriksen.
Okay.
So you shouldn't expect much from the coach.
To me, I was a bit surprised. I was at the very least, United, being a great team. They're still it's relatively a good team.
Of course.
They haven't become a bad team overnight.
Of course.
But I think it was more of, I noticed just like Liverpool's match, Brighton were a bit more hungry.
Oh, yes.
And note that for Liverpool, especially for Fulham, I noticed that I think usually when you have teams that come up into the Premiership that have been promoted, they have a point to prove.
Oh, yes.
And definitely that's basically what we saw. I mean, last season, we all could attest to what happened with Brentford against Arsenal, first match.
Yeah.
And I wasn't surprised. Personally, I wasn't surprised. People were shocked at United and Liverpool firing blanks. I still think Liverpool will come good, but I think I want to shift more attention to the top six in terms of how you felt. Let's start with you. Obviously, you're an Arsenal supporter. So what do you make of Arsenal? Jesus, Zinchenko, and also Saliba.
Saliba was wonderful. Big up Saliba. He's
Indeed.
Tremendous performance.
It was impressive. It was an impressive performance.
I tell you, I never expected that from him, being his first match
Definitely
at home in front of the crowd against a team like Crystal Palace, and he's able to marshal the defense like that. Big up Saliba.
I think it bodes well for Arsenal. What do you make of Jesus?
Oh, for me, everything he did was great because they were hungry for the match. They wanted to come in all out to prove to the world that the Arsenal we know is no longer what we think it is. They are new energetic boys who are hungry for fame, and they want to show the world something. So this time I don't think Arsenal is going to I don't think Arsenal is going to be that low class of football that they used to play. No, I don't think they are going to
say low class. I just feel like they've taken things a little bit another notch by the signings that they brought in.
For me, rating the performance, the total performance, I don't think Arsenal did as expected from me. Because looking at that match, you can see Crystal Palace created the clear chances.
Yes, but you have to also put things into context. So, for example, if you look at Crystal Palace, last season they beat City, they beat Arsenal.
I know.
It's only Liverpool that beat them.
I know it was a
And then
tough test for
and
Arsenal.
also,
I know.
I think Spurs won, but just 1-0, literally. So you have to notice that. I think for
Spurs
Arsenal,
won by
it's a solid 3 points, and especially for the fact that we didn't concede.
Yeah,
considering that they did have
No,
the
we are
best
lucky.
chance.
We are lucky.
Oh yeah, they did have the best chance.
We
But
are
you see,
lucky.
sometimes you make your own luck because the difference is who was more clinical.
The difference was Saliba and then Ramsdale.
Well,
Those were
say
the
that.
differences.
Comparing last season to this season, last season Arsenal's first match was a loss. Second match lost. And sometimes as a human being, you psych yourself to the level
They
of
start affecting your psychology.
you see it will affect you. So this time I think they all came in telling themselves that no, we're not starting the season like we did last season.
Of course.
Let's go in all out. Let's put our best inside so we can make it happen. That's what they did. I think they did the best. They were very fantastic on the field of play.
I think Crystal
I think, to be honest with you, I looked at the first before we quickly move on, because we need to move on to the other teams.
Okay.
I noticed that whilst Jesus did not score, what he did was run through the pockets and drag a lot of the defenders away.
Jesus did well.
And for me, it's probably something that we've been missing compared to maybe say a Lacazette, who is more of a targets man, where he's always had his back towards defenders.
He does almost the same
in hope
thing.
to bring the guys in back.
Yeah, he does
Whereas
almost the same thing, but it's not quick.
Jesus was more of a work rate, drawing defenders and creating more space for the other
Jesus is
players.
Quick. He's quick.
And that's how Martinelli managed to score the first goal. Now Spurs, I think they were the team of the week.
Of course.
It pains me to say as an Arsenal fan, but they were the team of the week.
Of
It
course.
was impressive.
Very, very impressive.
And interestingly, we didn't even see Kane and Son Ming. I mean, they were in the match, obviously, because these two can bring fear to any defenders.
Of
but
course. Any day.
what we saw was Kulusevski. Oh, what a player! He was a breath of fresh air.
Yeah, that's why he brought him in. He brought him in last season because they were lacking that
I think that creativity, that's the word. Yeah, I saw him open up play,
front, yeah.
And that goal that he scored, I was just clapping my hands. I mean, and this is an Arsenal fan.
I said it last week.
Give honor to who is due.
I told you guys last week. I said when you come out to play Conte, he's going to beat you. When you come out to play Conte, he's going to beat you. But when you park the bus, Tottenham cannot break through your defense.
Well, it's only one match. So let's see. Let's move on to Chelsea. What do you make of Chelsea?
They struggled.
Yeah, I think they more or less they crawled through the match, and definitely you can see that they need some more signings in and stuff. But one thing that I think, from what I'm seeing from Chelsea, they still have the defense. This particular match, it was the defense that actually got them through. Koulibaly and
Silva.
Yeah.
Thiago Silva.
Thiago Silva. And these are very, very experienced defenders.
Yes. I didn't see much of Koulibaly, but Thiago Silva was
amazing.
He was amazing.
Anyway, guys, as we're saying, please subscribe, comment, like, share your thoughts as well as we're moving on, and participate really. So I have a few more questions from over the weekend in terms of a group of various people that actually shared their thoughts. So I'll put one out to you guys both. Do you see Arsenal as a genuine top 4 contenders? I think we kind of touched on it in the previous episode in terms of what we expect Arsenal to do this season, but I think I know we kind of know what to expect from them. So let's start with you. What's your thoughts?
For me, Arsenal making the top 4 this season, 100%.
Okay.
100% for me, because looking at the young boys, how they are coming into the games, even watching their preseason matches. It was very massive.
Mm-hmm.
They were giving us their best and everything.
Okay.
So they being in the top 4, 100%.
And then I'll go on quickly. I know we kind of haven't touched on these guys, surprisingly. Haaland, the City real deal. Is he the real deal? Would you say he's the real deal?
Of course.
What do you make of
without
the performance over the weekend?
without him this weekend for City, I don't think they could have come out with a victory in that match. He made the difference. He won the penalty. He scored the penalty. He scored the second goal. Obviously,
all right.
The boy is a legend in making.
I think Haaland was the best this weekend because, you know, Gundogan and collaborating with what's his name?
Kevin De Bruyne.
Kevin De Bruyne. You know, Kevin De Bruyne has always find himself in a way whereby he will want to handle the game, tell you that I'm the boss of the game, so this is what I want you to do. Looking at West Ham's midfielders, no one was able to handle him very well. So he was all out giving the passes, and everybody was like, wow. You know, he giving Haaland the chance to score. They both have that connection because I always tell myself that when you're a striker and you find him in your team, it is best you cope with him so you keep on scoring more goals. You know, that guy is very fantastic.
I have a little bit of a different view, but that's not even. I'm not even going to go too much into that. But I think we kind of want to quickly, because there's quite a number of questions, so I'll try and get through them as much as I can. So the next question that for someone says, a lot of people are saying that the dark horse in the title race, there's a dark horse this season. Who would you say the dark horse would be? That might surprise them. Are we looking at another Leicester in 2015, or should we look at probably the usuals?
I don't
maybe
think...
because obviously everyone thinks City and Liverpool. The title race will be City and Liverpool, but there might be a team that breaks into those two, you know, in terms of the level that they are. But what do you make of it?
I doubt that.
It will be very difficult, you know. Pep Guardiola in defending the title, that man, respect.
Okay, here's my thoughts. Here's my quick thoughts. I think it's game one, right?
Yes,
so let's see. I think all of us will kind of have a fair idea after maybe 5 games being played. That might even be early because sometimes usually by the 10th game, where we have a fair idea where things are going. But to me, Tottenham looks impressive. Arsenal, I mean, looks like they've got it together with the new signings. Obviously, they seems to have winners in the team now. With Jesus, Zinchenko, I understand there's a few signings that are coming in. But I want to ask you, there's a certain Messiah that has been being talked about called Monsieur Ten Hag. So, what do you make of what is happening with Ronaldo refusing to train leading up to the start of the Premiership? De Jong, that has been forever being signed by United, is taking God knows how long over this. Every day you only have to turn on your YouTube or see what latest transfer news, and the De Jong is still being trying to sign. Obviously, there's a money issue, etc. There's so many issues and stuff, and then suddenly the hijackers that call themselves the Blues of West London seems to be hijacking this deal.
Chelsea.
Yeah. So what do you make? What do you make of this?
Well, like I said last week, I said I am expecting Man U to struggle a bit because reasons be Ten Hag has just come in. You don't expect a miracle to happen in a twinkle of an eye, so you have to give him time. If you look at the team he paraded this weekend, you can see clearly that
It's still the same team from last
it's still the same team from last season.
Okay.
The only two difference there was Martinez and Christian Eriksen.
But the question that I want to ask you guys is, because I'm a bit skeptical on Martinez. How did he play at the back? I mean, I watched the match, generally just the highlights, but I don't think I really focused on him in terms of his gameplay.
For me, his performance was good.
Okay.
He just made a few errors here and there.
Okay.
But generally, I'll give him 8
out of 10, right?
Yes.
Out of 10.
I mean,
Rich?
looking at the Manchester United defense, you know, Harry Maguire, together with
No, but see,
together with Martinez,
doesn't
it's a
matter,
big,
yeah.
like there was a confusion between the two of them because they didn't know at a point in time they didn't know where to go, who should go and tackle the one with the ball. They didn't have that
No, for
vibe
me,
of communication.
I think their
so-
problem was the midfield. Christian Eriksen and
But I actually
Fernandez.
looked at Eriksen and Fernandez. I think they played well. It's
They
just
did,
that
they did, especially Fred. He did very
The
well.
connection was not there.
No,
I couldn't find that connection.
Actually, my issue in that match was the Brazilian. What's his name? The name has escaped me. The Brazilian and McTominay or
McTominay.
Fred. That's
Fred,
it. Fred. Yes, Fred. I just feel that there's no cohesion. That you don't see that. Usually when you look at the teams, the top teams, like say you have Liverpool's midfield, Henderson and the other guy, the Spanish guy. I'm always losing my chain of thoughts. Alcantara, what's his name? Thiago. Yes, Thiago. And basically, you can see that telepathic between them. It's like one knows where the other is in terms of tackling. So if you quickly move past this person, you know that the other person quickly covers him. I just didn't see that cohesion, and clearly that's why Man United are still trying to get De Jong, because he will make things happen.
Yeah, that's what I said.
He will stop or break up play.
That's what I said initially. I was trying to say
Actually,
their problem was the midfield, not
That's what
just the
Arsenal
defense.
have in Partey.
Thomas Partey,
Yeah, that's what Arsenal have in Partey. So, I mean, United issue, yes, they have a long way to go, but I also feel that the manager has his work cut out. As in, he has a huge task ahead of him, because it's not just performance. I also feel it's a psychology on the pitch.
Of
Because
course, it's a factor.
the players that we see on day in, day out, don't forget, a few years ago, these are the same team that came second in the league, ahead of Liverpool. This was about 3 years ago, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes,
three,
yes.
maybe 4 years ago.
Yes, 3
The
years
majority of the people are still in there, apart from Lukaku that left. So for me, as far as I'm concerned, it's very, very, very difficult to see, even in the next 2 years.
But you
It
cannot
will take
lose
some
it. You
time.
cannot lose a player like Pogba.
Then
and
again-
still expect your
Then
midfield
again,
to be
hey,
the same.
it's only one match.
Yeah.
It's only one match. So, So guys, as I keep saying, your thoughts, subscribe, and let me go on to the next question in terms of what people have been putting up here. So it says, do you think Conte might just be the one that become that dark horse and sneak into the top 2?
I don't think so. Not.
No, wait. Before you answer, are you speaking as an Arsenal fan or as a football fan? Be neutral here, because we know what we are seeing in terms of how Spurs are going. I mean, I keep going on about Spurs. It's just because I actually watched the match and I saw Spurs that has moved up another gear.
Yeah, they were well organized. You can see the tactical aspect of his game clearly showing in that match. But what I'm saying is this: Kante struggles anytime he meets a team that packs the bus.
All right, fair enough.
And I tell you, 60%, if not 70% of the teams in EPL
We'll pack.
will pack the bus.
Okay.
So I just want to see how they break those defense. If they can do that this season,
Yeah.
if by December they
Yeah.
are still
Around the
beating
top.
teams the way they started, then I will give it to him.
All right. Rich, your thoughts?
For me, it will be very difficult for Chelsea to
No,
Tottenham to maybe top 4 will be fine, but first 2 will be very difficult. Because we have Manchester City trying to defend the title.
Mm-hmm.
We have Liverpool trying to beat Manchester City as they took the cup last season.
All right.
So they'll feel like, oh, we should also try and overcome them this season. So there's a challenge over there. Those two, there's a challenge. So another team coming up to beat the 2 of them or to beat one of them will be very difficult. Looking at the analysis and the technical this thing about their coach. Let's take Pep Guardiola for example. He's very technical and very conscious when he's on the field of play. You can study him when he's sitting down very quietly. The man has this kind of mentally idea that he sometimes pulls up with it that no one is expected to know what is going to happen, especially when he's with his boys.
So both of you, okay, we've talked about Arsenal. We've talked about Pep, Klopp. What do you think? What do you make? Because I mean, it's only one game. Let's be honest. It's only one game. As I keep repeating, but I felt like Liverpool looked tired. They just went up for the fight, and it's not the usual. And this is where, personally, to me, Mane makes the difference. Mane can pull the team back up. I mean, they got back into the match, but the point is, how many of Fulham's would Liverpool have to overcome in the team if they take or if they surprise them from the very onset, on the beginning of the match, kind of thing? Because it used to happen all the time, and then there's always a Mane that pops up.
If you look at that match, obviously he made a mistake by starting Firmino.
You reckon?
Yes.
Okay.
You can see when Nunes came in,
There was a difference.
there was a total change. So I think he'll be biting his finger, saying to himself, why didn't I start this guy?
But the thing is, when he came in, they didn't win. They still drew on 2-2, you know.
Yeah, but he
Though
changed the
his
game.
contribution brought in the second goal.
He made the difference when he came in.
But
No,
let's
he did
talk
make the
about
difference.
Fulham. Let's talk about Fulham. Fulham has been away for almost about 3 years, or is it 3 years or 4 years?
Fulham,
Yeah,
probably in the last 3 years or so.
last
Yeah,
3
yeah,
years.
for so long.
And this time around, you don't expect a team which has been in the Champions League for 3 years and coming back to the EPL should come in such in a low. No, they are
but
coming in.
generally, I think when you have a team that has just been promoted into the Premiership, traditionally they cause problems for the first 10 matches.
That is it.
They
Because
do.
you
They
people can
do.
testify that. Even the fans can testify that. Even the Champions League is even.
The
stronger
championship. It's a
The
bit more
championship,
intense.
the championship is even stronger than the EPL. That's what I,
No,
because
no.
looking at all the
I
people,
would say it's stronger because obviously you don't have the kind of quality.
the
No,
quality
on the
is
Premiership.
not there though.
But- But it's they play more games. Number one,
Yes.
and it's more intense.
And the
It's
competition
more-
over there is very tight. Like looking at Queen's Park Rangers, way back, they were the ones that
If
the
you're
pioneers
talking,
of the
if you're
EPL,
talking
Queen's
about
Park Rangers.
tiring,
You have
yes.
them in the championship, and
If you're
you
talking
play
about
with them.
tiring, yes, the championship is tiring. But when it comes to quality, you can't compare. You
For
know.
quality, I would
the
just
teams
EPL.
in the EPL, they are just.
of course.
But
I just
trust me,
tested-
this time
I
around,
tested
Fulham is going to
ahead.
surprise a lot of the teams in EPL. Trust me,
No, it's going to happen for
especially
the
those squads now.
first 10 matches.
Yeah, those squads now. If Fulham squads now, I'm telling you.
I must say, to me personally, the player of the week for me is none of the usual top 4 teams as we expect.
So where will you put Haaland?
I'll come to that. I'll probably go for Mitrovic of Fulham. He was just unplayable, and we're talking about a Liverpool team that has won Champions League.
No, but you have to give the credit to the Fulham team as a whole.
Yes, but I think on the day, the guy
intensity.
that's basically pulled
His
Liverpool
contribution
apart
was very massive.
was Mitrovic.
The way
And
they started-
I was thinking, if he carries on like this, I might have to put him in my EPM or say fantasy football league. But anyway, let's move on. What do you make? I mean, of I saw another team that was very, very impressive, and there's another promoted team, Bournemouth. Bournemouth was unplayable. I mean, I looked at their performances over. Let me just check something. I looked at some stats over the weekend, and I was like, wow, you know, it's ridiculous what they did. I mean, the fact that I think they beat Aston Villa, if I'm not mistaken, 2-1.
Yes.
Yeah, and
It was 2-0.
2-0. 2-0. Yeah, it's a
it was
2-0.
2-0.
Yeah. So I mean, I was actually taken back. If any of the top teams play these guys, it will not be a walk in the park. It will not be a walkover. These guys will cause a lot of teams problems.
You should expect that in the first.
Of course.
At the start of the season, yeah.
First few matches.
Yeah.
like that.
You should expect that from most of this. You see, when the going gets tough, that's when we know where the big guys lie.
Okay.
You know. So
Okay. But I mean, in you guys' opinion, who do you stay? I mean, after first match, of course, it's only one match, as I keep saying. Who do you think out of the top 4 is really looking like the real deal? As in, you know, let's not go too much into specific individual, but as a collective team.
Still Liverpool City.
Still Liverpool City.
I'll go for Manchester City.
Manchester City. Okay. I will put Spurs in the mix.
Of course.
But we will still see where Arsenal is after probably 10 games. That's where it will indicate whether they are actually near. I'm not saying they're going to win, but they'll be closer to them or not.
You didn't ask me about Arsenal.
Okay, all right. You have your moment. Just a minute. Go on quickly before we wrap up.
Oh yeah, see. Arteta cannot fail this season.
Okay.
Otherwise, he'll be facing
The sack.
yes.
Okay.
Because if you look at us now, over 2 seasons now, Arteta has spent quite a lot of money in the
Yeah,
market.
we spent over 400.
We have
Over 400 million. Yeah, so that's a lot.
pounds. So much is expected of Arsenal. So if Arteta fails to deliver this season, I'm telling you,
And what would you say
You might be
when you
calling
say
it today.
fail to deliver? What is delivering to you?
at least top 4.
Top 4. Okay.
At least.
I personally think if as good as Tottenham is, and I still feel like we can edge them. We have the tools to edge.
We
Tottenham.
have everything. We
And
have
personally,
everything.
I'm still expecting Arsenal to come 3rd place. But you never know. 4th is still good. You still go to Champions League. I mean, it shows progress, of course. But I think if Arsenal can get a few signings, what about City? Did you see anything in terms of weaknesses or places, positions that you feel they need to strengthen?
They are still the same. So the only difference there is Haaland.
Okay.
So I think they're going to go a step higher.
Liverpool? Your take on Liverpool?
Liverpool, I think they'll be able to make the top 4, but not taking the league.
Top 4.
Top 4, but
Not
not
think
taking.
that make the top 2.
Sure, they might be in the top 2, but you know.
You don't think they'll win the league?
No, they're not going to win the league.
Interesting thought.
There's no way they can win the league.
Okay, and then so I'm going to Chelsea.
Chelsea, you see, I can only evaluate them after the window is closed.
Okay.
Yeah, for
But
now,
I still think, you know, despite the fact that people are bashing them and that, I still actually think they have had actually good signings. Look, Koulibaly is not a joke player. He's a very, very experienced player. And actually we saw the performance over the weekend. And then we also saw Thiago. Yeah. I mean, they really played well. So you can't rule them out.
No, but from what I saw,
Sterling also played pretty.
yeah, he tried.
Sterling played quite well.
Yeah, he did
You know,
well.
And I
He
think
did well.
all of us were expecting, because this is a guy that has come from
Through the
winning
rounds,
four Premier League titles. So therefore, definitely. So guys, we want to wrap up now. Personally, I won't say much since I'm the moderator. More to say, but yeah, let's know what you think. Subscribe, comment, like, and you will get more content coming up in the next few days as well. And thank you so much. Aquaba TV once again. Peace.